Good night. My name is Mayra Salazar. My topic is human influenza with a novel avian influenza A7 and 9. Definition is a subset of influenza viruses that have been detected in birds in the past. This particular A7 and 9 virus has not previously been seen in either animals or people until it was found in March 2003, 2013 in China.
Researchers say the H7N9 virus is evolving to adapt to human cells. The influenza virus contains 8 RNA segments of genetic material needed to make new viruses. Hemagglutinin and neuraminidase activity proteins are at the surface. When 2 strains of the virus enter a host cell, their parts can combine within the cell to produce a new mutant strain. Samples taken from recent cases of the H7N9 virus in China indicate that the strain is related to 3 different strains of avian flu. Mutations found in the hemagglutinin proteins of the H7N9 virus allow it to thrive in the cooler temperatures of the human upper respiratory system and thus infect human cells. Scientists believe that the virus could mutate into a strain that could eventually transmit between humans, raising the risk of a pandemic.
Avian influenza A. Human influenza with avian influenza A1 or bird flu are rare but do occur what commonly after exposure to infected poultry bird to man spread. Limited person to person spread the bird flu to have occurred rarely in the past, most notably with avian influenza A7 and 9. Based on these previous experiences, some limited human to human spread this A7 and 9 virus will not be suppressed.
The patient is a 36-year-old Indonesian maid who recently traveled to Shenzhen to kill and cook live chicken. She has been hospitalized with severe pneumonia. The family with whom she lives has also been quarantined after showing flu-like symptoms. It is believed that the H7N9 virus emerged as a product of genetic reassortment between 3 different avian flu viruses. Humans in contact with the mucus or feces of infected chickens can contract the virus.
Infection. The pathogenic avian influenza A7N1 to A7N3 viruses infection have caused lower respiratory tract illness, disease, conjunctivitis, or incomplete influenza like ill to moderate severity. Most human infections with English pathogenic avian influenza A viruses have resulted in conjunctivitis. My name is Mayra Salazar. My topic is human influenza with a novel avian influenza A7N9.
It isn't entirely known how this is
Definition
transmitted,
is
and
a
it is
subgroup
thought that
of
it probably
influenza
has a
viruses
poultry
that have
connection,
been
but there
detected
are
in
at
birds
least
in the
4
past. This
cases in a
particular
family cluster where it's thought that the transmission of it was human to human.
Virus has not
And that
previously
is
been
terrifically
seen
significant
in
because
either animals or
influenza doesn't
people
become an epidemic
until
or
it was
globally
found
a
in
pandemic
March
until there's
2003,
sustained human-to-human transfer. There's not
2030
evidence
in
of
China.
human-to-human transfer in a sustained manner right now. And that will have certain implications for the development of vaccine.
Researchers say the H7N9 virus is evolving to adapt to human cells. The influenza virus contains 8 RNA segments of genetic material needed to make new viruses. Hemagglutinin and neuraminidase activity proteins are at the surface. When 2 strains of the virus enter a host cell, their parts can combine within the cell to produce a new mutant strain. Samples taken from recent cases of the H7N9 virus in China indicate that the strain is related to 3 different strains of avian flu. Mutations found in the hemagglutinin proteins of the H7N9 virus allow it to thrive in the cooler temperatures of the human upper respiratory system and thus infect human cells. Scientists believe that the virus could mutate into a strain that could eventually transmit between humans, raising the risk of a pandemic.
This virus is very interesting for us because it's
Avian influenza A. Human influenza with avian influenza A1 or bird flu are rare but do occur what commonly after exposure to infected poultry with human speed. Limited person to person spread the bird flu to have occurred rarely in the past, most notably with avian influenza A7N9. Based on these previous experiences, some limited human-to-human spread this A7N9 virus will not be supple.
This one is showing a lot more human cases early on, at H7 compared to H5, since everybody is experienced with having to change the vaccine composition.
The patient is a 36-year-old Indonesian maid who recently traveled to Shenzhen to kill and cook live chicken. She has been hospitalized with severe pneumonia. The family with whom she lives has also been quarantined after showing flu-like symptoms. It is believed that the H7N9 virus emerged as a product of genetic reassortment between 3 different avian flu viruses. Humans in contact with the mucus or feces of infected chickens can contract the virus.
Application in nursing. The following phase is animal appropriating a gift to be an infection. Low the pathogenic avian influenza A7N1 to A7N3 viruses infection have caused lower respiratory tract illness, diastemic conjunctivitis, or incomplete influenza like ill to moderate severity. Most human infection with English pathogenic avian influenza A viruses have resulted in conjunctivitis A7N3 or complicated influences on lice. And can infect domestic poultry and other bees and other animal species. The avian influenza viruses do not usually infect humans. Thank you.
It isn't entirely known how this is transmitted, and it is thought that it probably has a poultry connection, but there are at least 4 cases in a family cluster where it's thought that the transmission of it was human to human. And that is terrifically significant because influenza doesn't become an epidemic or globally, i.e. pandemic, until there's sustained human-to-human transfer. There's not evidence of human-to-human transfer in a sustained manner right now. And that will have certain implications for the development of the vaccine. It's mostly acting like influenza of the other kind that we're more familiar with. We know that some people have gotten it, have never sought medical care for it, and have gotten over it. We know that people can have mild to moderate illness with it, receive a little bit of care, and do fine. So it has the gamut that it runs in terms of its severity, but with a 20% give or take fatality rate, such as we know it today, that would be higher than what you would expect.
Tratament: antibiotic therapy, glucocorticoids, intravenous immunoglobulin.
This virus is very interesting for us because it's causing such different symptoms in birds and humans. And since this is causing no symptoms in the birds, it's flying under the radar screen, so to speak, which means that it might be more widespread than we realize. That's one of the major concerns for the Americas because it's not here. It's not established in our birds. The Chinese released sequences for the first 4 human cases very quickly. There's a lot you can learn just from getting the sequence information that can lead you on to other experiments and possibly field studies to try to confirm the suspicions you develop from the sequence. We know a lot about the virus just from the sequence, but it's also got some changes we don't really understand yet, which tells us that there's still a lot to learn about this virus. So we have to actually work with it in the laboratory to figure these things out. This one is showing a lot more human cases early on, the H7 compared to H5, since everybody is experienced with having to change the vaccine composition for seasonal influenza every year. We know that influenza viruses can change. That's something we have to be aware of. We have to see that we have a vaccine that works against what's in the population at the time. We're doing as much as we can, and our people are working very hard, and they know what they're doing. They're producing results at an amazing speed.
Application in nursing. The following page is animal approving a guide to be an quality of the shortest time possible, excellent in the provision in the health services should be the objective of nursing. Facilitate nursing care for the patient with influenza. Conclusion: avian influenza is a disease caused by infection the influenza viruses flu avian influenza. This virus is found naturally among water birds world and they can infect domestic poultry and other birds and other animal species. The avian influenza viruses do not usually infect humans. Thank you.